four brush motors per this quadcopter, built-in GPS, very bright LEDs on these landing gear legs, so that you can see the LEDs very easily. Signals you have to worry about mainly is you need to see green flashing lights to let you know that you have GPS lock, and if you're in altitude hold, I believe they become yellow, and if you're on low battery power, they become red, or if you, I believe they become red, and this will automatically do return to home, by the way, on low battery power, or if it flies out of range, if it is in GPS mode. If you're in altitude hold mode, I believe when you fly out of range, or if it doesn't have a GPS lock, it tries to maintain a level position hover until it regains GPS lock or comes back into range of the transmitter. Let's go over the transmitter real quick. This switch here is for entering GPS mode, or if you bring it down, you're entering altitude hold mode. I'm going to start off in GPS mode. We're going to fly in GPS mode to begin with. This switch here is for activating return to home. We're return to home and landing by flipping it up. And for takeoff, we're going to leave it down. This switch here takes a photo. This switch here starts and stops the recording. The throttle yaw stick, if you push into it, enters into headless mode. So this does have headless mode. The right control stick, if you press into it, enters into follow me mode. But again, you must be in GPS mode to activate follow me mode if you want it to work. If you're in altitude hold, it's not going to work. Also, you can enter menus and adjust different settings on this quadcopter and on this transmitter by pulling the throttle stick all the way down and pressing the right pitch roll stick. And that'll enter into menu mode, which you can adjust certain items on this quadcopter, like stick sensitivity. You can actually fly this quadcopter in manual mode too if you wish. I believe it's gyro stabilized manual mode though, but it'll be somewhat difficult to do because of this self-centering stick. If we have time, I'll try to get in demonstrate that today. If you look on the right side of this transmitter, you'll notice there's an SD card slot and a USB port. This is for entering new software into this quadcopter or into this transmitter. This SD card slot does not record video, so don't expect it to do such. And this USB port is again only for programming the new software firmware for this transmitter, and that is done at the factory. I don't believe there's any firmware upgrades for this particular quadcopter. The two ports on the left here are for using Hubsan goggles with Hubsan ports for those goggles. But I don't own a Hubsan goggle. I do have a VR007 from Ishin that I've tried with this already, and it does work with this quadcopter, by the way. And we're going to try that a little bit later here when I'm doing altitude hold flying. I'm going to try to fly using these goggles here. Now, the one down thing about using third-party goggles is you do not get the telemetry information that you get with the Hubsan screen and I believe also the goggles, so you will not have the telemetry information. And we'll go into that telemetry information here shortly after we start this quadcopter and go for a flight. So let's do such. Starting it up. Oh, turn on the transmitter. Since this is a GPS quadcopter, you usually turn on those transmitters first and then plug in the battery. And place it on a flat level surface. Now, when you see those red flashing lights, that normally means, well, no, it's not saying to do the compass calibration, but since we're in a new area here, I want to do a compass calibration. And the way to do that is, let me see, what's it say there? Yeah, we are in compass calibration. When you see the red lights, like that, it's telling you to do a clockwise, 2 clockwise turns horizontally until you see green flashing lights. Okay, now once you see the green flashing lights, do 2 turns clockwise until the lights go out. and the lights go out, and compass calibration is complete. This seems to automatically do that each time you do a takeoff or you start up this quadcopter. Every time I've done it at home, that compass calibration has come up automatically. So we should be ready to go here. Let me check the GPS signal that we got. We only have 4 satellites on the quadcopter itself, and you see that there. Now we got 7, so we got GPS lock, and we have 11 satellites locked on to the transmitter. So we're good to go for follow me mode if we want to do follow me flying. You also notice that we also get lat long for both the GPS, or for the quadcopter, and for this transmitter. We also have telemetry data, and most importantly, we have battery voltage of the quadcopter, so we can monitor that while we're flying. Additionally, we got pitch and roll and height, I think. I'm not sure what the H stands for. And we have distance from takeoff, and I believe that's altitude, 11 meters. And this always starts off in 11 meters before takeoff. I don't know why that is, but it does. And also velocity of the quadcopter, which right now is 0. And also battery power of the transmitter, and battery power also a bar graph for the quadcopter. So we should be good to go now. Now what I'm going to do, we're going to start off with just plain GPS flying, and I'm going to take off by pulling the sticks down and out to enter into idle. And then we're going to increase the throttle until the quadcopter takes off. This is its first flight, by the way. And let's see how well it maintains altitude and position. By the way, I took off next to these this X that I made on the ground using rocks. We're going to use that a little bit later. Let's send it up a little bit higher. Check the stability. We got green lights in the back, as you can see here. White lights in the front. Green lights means we got GPS lock. And I got a breeze coming in every once in a while. And when that breeze goes by, I notice it does affect the altitude quite somewhat for the quadcopter. So wind might be an issue with this quadcopter. Going up, because of that, I'm going up a little bit higher before we go flying. Now let's take it out. And I'm trying to turn, well, let's take it out this way so that the sun doesn't show up as badly on the screen, so you can see the screen, folks. And again, it does descend a bit as you go forward in speed. And that's because of probably drop in air pressure as it's going forward from the velocity. And coming back toward us. Yeah, I do notice. Now it seems to be holding the altitude well, but the lights are flashing yellow, which means we're in altitude hold mode. Do I have GPS lock? Let's bring it in close again. Yeah, I have sufficient number of satellites, and the lights are green there. So if you go too quickly, well, maybe that's just the yellow from the color of that shade diffuser around that quadcopter, or the lights, the LED lights. When it gets close, you can see it is green. It flies very smooth, by the way. Okay, that's quick GPS. Let's send it out far. We'll go out over the gully here. Take it out to about 200 meters or so. How's my voltage? I'm 7.7 volts. That's still sufficient voltage. Pretty far out right now. Far out, man. So I'm turning back. Now GPS mode, as with most GPS quadcopters, when you're in it, it doesn't allow you to go very fast. And the reason behind that is it's trying to maintain a GPS lock. Now, next thing I want to try, altitude hold mode. Let's first try, let's let it sit there for a second and enter into altitude hold mode. And I'm going to do it manually first. See how it performs. Now in altitude hold mode, that speed lock goes away. You know, you can go very fast with this, and it seems to be doing good like that. So I'm going to put it in hover right there. Actually, let's go over here and put it in hover. And enter GPS lock. Turn the quadcopter toward myself. Go up a little bit higher. And the reason I'm doing that is, let's go up a little bit higher to make sure we don't lose it. Okay, checking the voltage before we take off, and we still got 7.5 volts, which is sufficient. And I am going to turn on my goggles. We're going to fly altitude hold with the goggles. Hold on, folks. Where am I at? There I am. Let's bring you back over and come back lower. I'm still flying with the goggles. There I am. I'm sorry I wasn't recording there in the beginning. And we're going to put us over in this position here. Park it there. Turn it toward me. There I am. Turn off these goggles now. So we demonstrated the goggles are working with this. Next thing I want to try, is this still recording? Yeah. It's follow me mode. For such, okay, I stopped the recording again. Starting the recording one more time. We are going to come down lower. And I want to go over to this position here. Right over to about here. And go up a little bit higher. And a little bit closer too. How's that working? Okay. Let me pick up my goggles. And we're going to go into my car here. I took a photo too. We're going to go into my car and see if it follows me. My dog's going to get excited here. The main reason being she's probably going to think we're going for a walk, but we're not. And I'll put this transmitter here. Start up the car. I see you up there. And enter into follow me mode by pressing the right stick. You have to have GPS lock of both. Okay. I gotta take my glasses off to see what it's saying. Put throttle low. Oh, follow me mode is activated by a quick press of that throttle or that button. If you hold it down, it's going to try to go into a different mode. But away we go. Let's see if it maintains position on me, and it seems to be. So we're going to go for a little bit of a ride here. Maybe pick up speed too as we're going. See how well it maintains that position up there. Let me look at my screen. Is it recording me? Yeah, it is. Somewhat. Let me set it a little further out. Coming out of follow me mode. Far out, man. Let's go a little bit further out. Over to here. Press the button one more time quickly, and it automatically turns to your position, which is pretty darn neat, I think. It's doing that right now. And is it following me? Well, I guess it is. And my dog's barking at it. How many volts we got? We're down at 7.3 volts, so we got plenty of voltage. Let me set it out a little further forward of us. Hold on. Coming out of follow me again. What are you barking at? Going up a little higher, going over here, and pressing follow me. It's turning, and there we are again. Let's go for a ride through the desert. Hello up there. Pretty damn cool. I got lots of ideas what I want to use this for. I am going only about 10 miles an hour, so I'm only going to go so far with the follow me, because next what I want to do is I want to follow it. So let's see, I'm going to go over here, and then I'm going to turn around. So neat. Such a neat quadcopter. And I'm turning around here, and now what I'm going to do is, we're in GPS mode, I'm going to hit return to home, and we're going to follow it. It's got return to home mode activated. Turning off. Reason being, I got to go up a little bit higher. Now we'll do return to home. That almost hit a bush, folks. Okay, there it goes. On its way home. It's on its way home. Oh boy, it goes pretty damn fast when it's going home. Let's follow it. See where it goes. Follow it instead of follow me. Now I want to see if it lands, how closely it lands to that X that I put on the ground, where right next to where it took off from. So we'll see how accurate its landing is. I hope it's coming in on my video screen, and I hope I'm recording still on its camera. Oh, we're in the view of the camera, which is pretty darn cool. It flies backwards, obviously, then, since we're in view of the camera and I'm chasing it on its way home. Okay, it seems to be slowing down.